So if the same mistakes are made in this fresh presidential polls, the court will not hesitate to make the same decision they made. For you, don't you think this is enough grounds to ensure that IEBC gets things right on the 17th, if at all we'll have elections then?
Oh, yes. I agree, because the IEBC is a constitutional body. It's created by the Constitution. It is bound by the Constitution, especially Article 1, where the people are the sovereign. So what we are saying, or what I understood the judge to be saying, is that for all intents and purposes, they should ensure that whatever mistakes that were committed are not repeated, and they should ensure that everybody is on board and proper elections are conducted.
So you agree with that bit?
But what I don't agree with is that I think the Chief Justice was the threatening sort of. I don't think it is his duty to threaten. All he has to do is to tell IEBC to look at the Constitution, follow the Constitution, and ensure that the elections carry the will of the people. And the rule of law is what should guide the process.
Jared, I'll let you have the last word on this. She says that she felt the Chief Justice was threatening the IEBC, the tone that was
Firstly,
used.
let me disabuse the notion that Raila brought Saffron Mofo. The facts are out there. But even if he did, he didn't bring them to go to bed with Jubilee and mess up the electoral merchandise. That is very important for the nation to know. Now, elections, as my sister does know, is neither civil matter nor a criminal matter. So, and that is why they say it has to be just below, just below, what do you call it? Reasonable doubt. It's between the preponderance of doubt and the absolute conviction of doubt. So it's in between there, and that is what he has enumerated. And he has said that the petitioner was able to demonstrate that it fell within that realm for nullification. Now, what he has said, and that is why we are saying, it is not about bora uchaguzi, vile wanataka. It is about uchaguzi bora. Remember, since the nullification of this illegitimate win by Uhuru Kenyatta, the country, by the edict of the stock exchange, has lost 300 billion shillings and still counting. Many countries have expressed travel advisories to their citizens. And you know how important the sector of tourism is to this country. So what Jubilee is saying, that better the country goes to the drains as long as Uhuru Kenyatta is the president. They really don't care. But we are saying the country is bigger than Uhuru. And equally, the country is bigger than Raila. So if the electoral merchandise can be messed up to put the country into a similar situation, then Kenyans are not going to allow that. And that is what we are saying, to cure this mischief. Let all the problems around the electoral enterprise be corrected, and then we go into a clean slate of election. Because Maraga has not given any warning shot. He has only said that given a similar situation in the next round of election, and petitioners come before us with similar transgressions and illegalities, we are going to rule the same way.
Do you think we have enough time to go through all these reforms that we're talking about, the clean-up exercise of our whole electoral process?
You know, the notion that is held by a few people is that Saffron Mofo has reconfigured its systems, and therefore you can't bring another person. Similarly, you are telling me that you can only drive Toyota. If a Nissan is brought to you, you will have very difficult problems to do so. So we are saying it doesn't matter. Let a new guy come into office. Let those whom we have indicated as having bungled elections go home and face prosecution, and let clean people do this thing. Otherwise, we will get into another round of a bungled election. Supreme Court will nullify it. The country will be in total chaos. It will be total mess. We don't want to get there. And there is nothing constitutional that says it is only Uhuru Kenyatta who is qualified to be president. Akisa, we can make you president. And what you only need is a good suit, a security around you, and you stay in State House.
Really, it's just that.
Very simple.
I like the way that they look at it, because
and maybe a degree.
That's what they think. What they think is that Kenya will never be a country unless Raila Amolo Odinga becomes the president.
But he's never been, and you are surviving.
And that is the problem.
And
that is why he's bringing this country to a standstill. If the economy has lost, It's not because of Uhuru Kenyatta. It is because of Raila Amolo
Oh, then this
Odinga.
guy is so important to this
That is where
country.
the problem lies.
Oh,
and
then
he is
he's
the
so
problem.
important.
He is
Right.
the problem.
All right, we'll have to end it at that. Thank you very much for joining us here on KTN News Desk. Jared Okello is a Member of Parliament for Nyando. Florence Kajuju, former Member of Parliament representing women from the county of Meru. Always a pleasure to have you here on KTN News Desk as we wrap it up here. But as we end